So we're in full-blown day before traveling.
I know.
Like, freshly washed hair, sweatpants on, lists have been made.
I know. For as much as we both travel,
we're so bad at it.
I'm like both really good at it and really bad. Like and both happen simultaneously, and like I am like George Clooney getting through an airport.
Oh yeah,
but I am like a last minute packer.
I know.
I am like always like so worried I'm gonna forget something of like dire importance, and I don't know what it is.
No, you're never gonna know what it is.
No,
it's just there in the basement of your brain, kind of like making weird noises, so that you're super creeped out and like anxious all the time.
Yeah.
I showed up to my friend's wedding one time in, I don't know where it was, but it took me like 22 hours to get there.
Okay.
Because it was in like the middle of nowhere.
Right. That is a destination wedding.
Yeah. And I was like, Rah! And she's like, it's okay. We all know that you come in hot when you're traveling. And I'm like, okay, good. As long as people know and are okay with it. Because it's true. Like the whole like 24 hours before, I'm just like, in like fight or flight mode. Like, what am I gonna forget? How many times am I gonna shit my pants? Like,
yeah.
What are all the things that could possibly go wrong with this list that I've made of all the things that I need to do?
Yeah.
When am I gonna wash my hair? Like,
yeah. Like what day? Okay, so I need to do that now so that,
so that it has 3 days to dry? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so that I can then curl it tomorrow so that I can then...
I feel like I can't help but like, I think it's like the producer brain. Or maybe that's why I'm good at producing, because I'm like thinking of all the contingency plans I may need.
Yeah. It also like works out well because we're able to travel on the fly because of that. Like, which sounds totally counterintuitive to what we just expressed. That you think that we would not be able to even handle that.
Yeah.
But like I can travel and like make last minute reservations and like I mean that's how we did our road trip cross country is we booked our hotel the day of or maybe the night before.
Yeah, and I honestly in a weird way like I don't know if this is just us and why we get along so well, but like in a weird way like that's almost easier for my brain to handle.
Yes.
Probably because I don't have time to like make all these like plans for all the things I've realized may or may not go wrong. It's like, this is just the plan. And we're going to be there in 3 hours. So this is it.
Yeah.
Like,
and we found like, I mean, and there was like pre-planning of like certain like destinations we like wanted to maybe hit.
Yeah.
And we also were like, you know, wanted to be flexible because we had no idea like how our bodies were gonna hold up driving that far and like how
see the earlier conversation about sleeping too hard.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're gonna wake up with a stiff neck and go,
we're staying another day here.
Yeah, like guess what? Yeah, and that was cool too. Like we could show up somewhere and be like, this place is awesome. Let's stay another day. Like let's like spend a little bit more time in the city.
Yeah,
I'd be curious to like have this conversation with other people about traveling and see if like that would drive people nuts or if that and we're just crazy.
Our last minute
right,
not having a strict
schedule
itinerary.
Plans. Yeah,
that's the word.
Yeah, I'd be curious if like where we fall on the like scale of that being crazy or easier.
Yeah. I can't believe it's almost been a year since our road trip, though.
I know, that's crazy. We went in February.
I think it was February.
Yeah, I think so, too. Because, or maybe we got back by the beginning of February, and it was, like, started at the very end of January, I think.
Yeah.
Have to go back and look.
I don't know. But it's coming up. I just was, like, outside, and it's, like, cold, and I'm like, oh, yeah. It was shit. Like, that was, like, almost a year ago. Like, time. It's an illusion.
I know. It's crazy. That's probably why I've been, like, itching to go on another road trip. I've been, like, The open road has been calling
The
me.
open road is calling to you. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but I've been like itching. Like after like driving cross country, I was like, that was really fun. I want to do that again.
I know. Well, you asked me the other day if I would do it again. I'm like, I don't even think you finished the sentence, but I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
You were like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Glad I'm not going to have to pressure you.
Yeah. Because, yeah, I mean, I feel like I joked about it. I was like, I want to be a trucker now. I like just like me in the open road and.
Maybe not.
I mean,
feel like 2 weeks was good.
Yeah, not.
I was definitely ready to
actually.
like be in my own bed after 2 weeks.
I have less of that. I was just because like I could go and like live anywhere. Like I enjoy like staying new places and like I never have the like, oh my god, I just want my own bed. I was like, I don't want to drive 8 hours another day in a row. But we did good. We didn't have like too many long days.
We
broke it up pretty well.
We did.
We did the one long trek from El Paso to Austin.
Yeah, well, Texas
you just had to get across it.
It takes a long time.
Yeah, you just gotta go.
It's real big.
Yeah. And that strip of road is like, so monotonous.
You didn't even see a freaking cow.
No, it was just like flat days. And boring.
There was at one point not a single radio station.
Yeah.
Remember we were like it just scanning like never stopped. I was like, oh whoa.
Yeah. Like, okay, so we're just traveling in silence now because like nothing working like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really, I liked going this more southern route.
Yeah. I mean, I've never done anything else, so
yeah. I mean, both times, like, on my way out, I did a pretty southern route as well. A little bit more north than the route we took, but not by much, just, like, for part of it. I want to take the northern route, too, and hit, like...
Yeah, you got to do that in the summer, though. Nobody wants to be driving in North Dakota in the winter.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's a summer
That's
road
where gasoline freezes.
I don't think I would, know how to, actually handle that.
Yeah.
I would also, I live here now.
You got to think...
thaws.
You gotta think too that your brain just doesn't work quite as well. So like problem solving things, you're like, I don't know. I died, I guess.
Yeah, I know. Everything's shutting down.
This is where they find my body. Yeah. I hope it's a good podcast. May Keith Morrison do my Dateline episode.
Seriously. Oh. Yeah, that's the summer route. We were lucky too. We didn't have any crazy weather.
No, we didn't.
It was nice.
Did it rained a couple times.
But not
that
even.
Was it.
But barely.
But yeah, rain, not a storm.
Yeah. And we didn't have any snow either. Oh no, we had a little bit of snow once we got back to DC.
Did it snow?
It didn't snow, but there had been snow. Yeah, so we when I say there was snow, we physically saw snow.
We saw snow. Yes. Yeah. Well, it was DC to NYC in January or February. We're not sure which. So
yeah. I expected January to February it to be a little more snowy at some points, but I'm glad it wasn't because I don't like driving in snow as a Southern California native.
Yeah. I mean, we had a big truck. I don't know if
we did have the car for it. It had
it could have done
4-wheel drive.
Yeah, we wouldn't know how to have figured out the whole chains situation.
No,
I've had to do that when I had my little Honda Civic.
Oh yeah,
little 2-door Honda Civic going up to Tahoe.
Yeah.
Had to put chains on it on one point.
What I find really interesting is I've asked people who have born and raised out here, oh, do you have to put chains on your tires? And they look at you they have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, because they have the infrastructure to deal with snow.
Yeah. So they don't ever, chains aren't a thing that you don't, and they also have, for the most part, cars that have.
Yeah, winter mode
or 4-wheel drive. Yeah. Jinx. Damn it. Did you have a favorite city
I was gonna ask you that.
Oh, look at that.
Okay, so I feel like I've never been to Austin.
Yeah.
And like really, really loved Austin.
Yeah,
But
me
I feel
too.
like anyone who has ever met me would have been like, like
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, same. I feel like everybody was like, "Oh, you'll love Austin."
Yeah.
And I was like, and I did.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good city.
I really liked Raleigh was really cool.
Yeah, I did too.
Surprisingly, like I didn't know what to expect.
No.
But I feel like we found like some cute little like artisan like pop-up-y kind of like stuff like for like shopping and like
we had a really good dinner.
Yeah, it had
The
like
first night there.
it had a really cool kind of like more artsy vibe than I was expecting for the South.
Yeah, I was definitely I had heard kind of mixed reviews, like, going in, and I was like, oh, it's, like, a big city, it'll have, like, some stuff. But, yeah, I was really, like, it was, like, had, like, cool kind of, yeah.
There was a cool vibe there.
Yeah, for sure.
Savannah was really cool, but, like, I expected, because I've heard that it's, like, super artsy and cool, so I kind of expected that. So I feel like Raleigh was kind of, like, the dark horse.
Yeah, definitely.
For me.
Yeah, because Savannah I loved, but I also knew I was going to love it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I, having literally never spent any time in the South before driving cross country both ways, I actually really kind of enjoyed parts of the South. Like, I don't know.
I think it's helpful that we stayed in urban areas.
Yes, absolutely.
We did not venture into the sticks because we're two small women.
Yes.
So that would not have...
No, that wouldn't have felt safe.
No.
And there were a couple of times, like, it always... We also tried to plan it, too, that we weren't, like, driving too late into the night or, you know...
That would have been creepy.
Yeah. And I feel like, so that helped that aspect. But there were a couple of times where we got, like, turned around for one reason or another or had to, like, pull off for some reason. And then ended up on, like, some back roads trying to get back to the highway, and it's like,
this is how we die.
Not to be totally like,
it was,
but it like, I was like straight out of Misery, like,
I was hearing the bum bum of my Law and Order SVU episode, so that was that for sure. Yeah, that when the dog got sick and we had to like pull, where were we, like Tallahassee or something? Like,
we were on our way to Tallahassee or we were leaving Tallahassee. I can't remember.
We were very close to the Panhandle area of Florida, and we pulled off onto this like side street. Yeah. I use the term street loosely. It was like
a dirt road, barely.
Yeah, and I thought like something was gonna come out of the woods and eat us.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we were surrounded by woods on either side. It was like.
And there was, like, nothing we could do because, like, we had to clean it all up. So we were just kind of stuck there for, like, a period of time. Yeah. So we were just like, okay.
And it was really crazy because I feel like we, like, got off the freeway, highway, whatever, and, like, made a couple, like 2 quick rights just to, like, get off. Away. And then suddenly it was, like, we were alone in the woods.
Yeah, and like, it took us so long to get back.
Well, yeah, because it had us, like, go, like, where we were, we couldn't, like, just turn back around and get back on. We had to, like, go around.
And not a lot of street options.
No.
And we were driving through, like...
It was, like, a town. And I use that term. It was a...
There were small abodes.
Yes. There was a singular gas station.
It was very one stoplight town situation.
I was just going to say, I think there was actually one stoplight. Yeah. I mean, who knows? I mean, I think we went through the entire town.
Yeah, it was super weird. Yeah. Super bizarre. Yeah. And, like, just, like, you could just tell, like, that people owned, like, property. Yeah. And had, like, these tiny, like, trailers or, like, tiny, tiny little homes on, like,
land.
Flat, just, like, land. And you were like... Am I, like, driving on someone's, like, private road?
Yeah.
They're going to come out with a shotgun and, like, shoot me? Like,
yeah. I mean, that's, like, yeah, and it was, like, the middle of the day, and you're still just, like...
Kind of freaked out.
Kind of, yeah, like, and it was weird, because, it was, like, woods and small plants.
Yeah.
So it already just, like, from a storytelling perspective, like...
I know, you
just, like, has like an ominous sort of undertone already happening. Like, I've watched True Detective. I know what happens.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, we're such coastal elites, but there is, like, I don't want to, like, shit on, like, other places, but also just as a woman, like, two women in an area that no one's gonna hear you scream immediately. I don't care where you are. It could be like an industrial park in Brooklyn. Like, you're just, that raises the hair on the back of your neck and you're like, I'm not safe. So,
I mean, it's honestly as like, I feel like for anybody who's maybe only visited New York once or has never been here and like has an opinion of the city, I honestly always feel safer in the city than pretty much anywhere because of that, because of like, there's always going to be someone shouting distance
to hear you scream. Yeah.
Like, there were times like on, like, you know, taking the dog out on the road trip, I'm like, there's no one here. Like, I feel like I have like big dog privilege in the city because he'll bark and he'll like, you know, be scary. But I feel like that wouldn't fly if I'm in the middle of nowhere. Like,
I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess.
Yeah.
But
that's totally what it's about.
I think it's also too like what you're used to. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
We're city people,
Yeah.
so like being in a more rural area, which we live in New York City, everywhere's a more rural area.
Yeah.
Just feels kind of like you're on alert.
Yeah.
And it's a little elitist, but it's also like a safety thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like,
I think it's interesting too, because I think arguably, how I was saying, like, if you've only visited here or like haven't been here, you would probably make the assumption that you would be more nervous and more on alert in a big city like New York.
I mean, I guess I would think that if you're not used to a big city, you probably are.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Like, arguably, like, big cities are scarier, more dangerous, which I think just comes down to population size.
Yeah, and population density.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't know the statistics on that.
No, totally talking out of my ass.
Yeah,
but it sounded
good.
It sounded good,
and I think that we're right. So,
shocker.
There you go.
I think it's also really funny, like, because we both are like, oh my gosh, and like, what are we gonna pack, and we need to make sure. And it's not like we're going like on an African safari to like, you know, the jungles or something.
Yeah, where
we're not even going somewhere that probably doesn't have a Target within like 10 minutes. Like,
yeah, like
we can go just like replace what we need for the most part.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I don't, because like my mom was trying to like help me with this like travel anxiety that I get.
Right.
And she was like, Lexi, the only thing that you need to remember is your medication, your ID, and your money. Everything else we can fix.
Right. I would also add contact lenses to that list and or glasses.
Oh yeah, something to see.
Yeah, as blind individuals.
That's true.
Yeah.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Blind.
Although I'm the blind one. You're actually not that blind.
I'm not that blind, but I definitely can't see anymore. Yeah. I can't fake it. Like, I can't see without my
you'd
glasses
be sad.
or my contacts.
Yeah, you'd be sad.
But
yeah, other than that,
just
to slightly amend for the non-seeing folks.
Everything else you can kind of just like go to a Walmart or go to a big box store and be like, sorry, small businesses, but it's a pinch.
Yeah.
And you'll be okay.
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't matter how many times I like have that conversation with myself. And look, I sound so rational and convincing right now. But I still don't believe it. There's still like that travel gremlin in my brain that's like, no, you will forget everything and you will be screwed.
Yeah. Well, then it's like comes down to, it's like, okay, so we're going to a wedding. Mm-hmm. We're also filming the wedding.
We are.
So there's like, and it's a friend's wedding. So there's like multiple layers of like, okay, I gotta remember the right outfits. Mm-hmm. I gotta remember like all the stuff that goes with those outfits.
Mm-hmm. Like, did I try the right undergarments? Are they all clean?
Yeah, because if you're missing one of those elements, then like if you have the wrong bra for the dress,
you're kind of screwed.
Yeah. So,
Especially since you're filming, you can't like free boob it.
Yeah. Seriously.
You know, because if you were just attending, you could just be like, well, this is me, and stand up really straight the whole time. But
tape yourself in or something.
Yeah.
Borrow something. I don't know.
Yeah. I think it would be tape.
Yeah. Also, because we're filming, we've got like our, filming checklist of things to bring, which is also something that's like goes on the irreplaceable list.
Yeah, that's definitely an added on this particular trip.
Yes.
Because yes, you can go buy probably, if you're missing undergarments, something suitable somewhere.
Yes.
To strap yourself in, but you forget something to do with the camera.
Yeah.
Kind of fucked.
Yeah.
So that's on the irreplaceable list for sure.
Like we've been in like shoots in the city where something went wrong with an SD card.
Oh my god.
And thank you. And it was even a nightmare in the city trying to solve that problem. Yeah. Which is obviously why we have backups of things.
Yeah.
And are planning the backups right now.
Yeah. So I think it'll be fine, but it is always that adds another layer for sure.
It's that list that is starting to grow of things that are kind of irreplaceable in the travel.
Yeah.
That I start to I'm like, okay, I can't forget anything.
Okay, but so this is going to be our second, it's like a mini road trip. We're only going to Vermont from New York. So it's like a one stop of our road trip that we did.
Yeah,
but
it is like a
full, it's like 4 hours, right?
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5,
4 or 5 hours, yeah. So it's like a one stop mini road trip, but this will be our second road trip.
Yes.
I think we're pretty good at it.
I think so too.
This is going to be different though, because you drove the entire time on the cross country one.
Yeah.
Because you're a bit of a control freak. No, I'm kidding. You like to drive.
I like to drive.
I don't really care. So because you're a good driver. Because if you were a bad driver, I'd be like, bitch, get in the back. But we're taking my car, so I'm probably going to be driving.
Yeah.
So pending nothing going terribly wrong with the way I sleep tonight.
Seriously.
I'll be driving.
Yeah. Also, this one's different too because we already have an Airbnb booked. We know
there's
kind
some
of
more planning going on.
Yeah, there's also an itinerary in place because it's a wedding weekend.
Yeah. But I liked that about our road trip is that we were very I don't know, we'll wake up when we wake up and go do our thing.
Yeah,
and we still saw a ton of stuff.
Yeah, and we if there was anything that we were knew we wanted to hit, we may ahead of time be oh, let's try and do this or whatever, or
but we were very, very chill about it. Took a lot of the pressure off. Because that's the other thing too is not only is it the filming and there's layers of responsibility for this weekend, but I'm also kind of oh yeah, we gotta be certain places at certain times.
Yeah.
And,
that definitely
expectations are crippling.
Yeah.
And for all the neurospicy people out there, they're this sounds like day-to-day tasks.
Yeah.
Yes, they're very daunting, okay?
Yeah.
Living is hard when you're a little spicy in the cabeza.
Good. I also think that for what I thought you were gonna say is for those people who don't work in film.
Oh yeah.
There's also just this anticipation of before you start doing it.
Yeah.
Which I feel that's probably relatable.
Before a presentation or before you do anything where it's okay, you have to perform, because that's why I think a presentation in corporate world would be comparable, because it's a one-shot deal.
Yeah.
We're going to film this wedding. whatever we capture is what we
got.
got. Like, there's no, like...
There's no resetting a wedding and, like, getting another shot and going again.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Like, can we get that one more time?
And also with a wedding, which I was thinking about very recently, is you have a built-in audience who are going to be watching.
Yeah.
Like, what you create.
Yeah.
At the end.
Right.
I think with everything you create, there's the hope of an audience.
Mm-hmm.
But with a wedding, like, there's like a handful of people that you know are automatically off the bat going to be.
Well, and I think it's harder too because it's like, I don't know, I feel like we've talked about this before. I don't know if we've ever talked about it like publicly or what. I don't know what the right word is, but on the internet. But like, I'd rather like perform for like 600 strangers than like my 5 best friends.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes no sense, but it's like, you know, this is for a friend. You want that, you really care if they like it. Like,
yeah, you want it,
you want it to be everything that they wanted it to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So
and
there's like the added, that you put on yourself. Is this making you more nervous? Because it's making me a little more nervous. I was doing pretty good until we started talking about it.
I think I'm less nervous, but I've been less nervous because I'm really excited about, like, going back to the kind of, like why we want to do what we do and why we tell stories and write and, you know, are filmmakers and actors and do all the things.
Yeah.
Is it all comes down to storytelling. So I'm really excited about, like, kind of going back to that. And, like, I feel like we talked about this, like, in the past, out of necessity of the shoot, just what was needed from me.
Right.
I didn't get to kind of, I was so focused on, like, getting what absolutely needed to be done.
Yeah.
Where, like, with this, it's a one and done. So it's just about, like, finding, like, the, you know, the little moments and the little things. And I think I'm excited about, like, doing that aspect of it. Because then that's what's going to be meaningful.
I'm excited that we're going to have some Vermont B-roll.
I am too. I'm really excited about Vermont B-roll. I'm excited, like, we're gonna, like, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we're gonna, like, take this on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know
what.
what.
Have, like, a live or something.
Yeah, maybe we'll do some.
Just have some.
Go on some of the
fun.
other socials and, like, hang out or something. I don't know.
know. It'll be fun, though.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm excited because there are, like, local Vermont foods.
Oh. I didn't even think about the culinary aspect.
Right?
Okay.
Like, apparently there's some sort of, like, bourbon brown sugar bacon or something.
God, I'm gonna eat that.
Yeah. Like, you can buy it, like in a pack or something.
Well, isn't Vermont, like, where all the, like, maple syrup comes from?
Yes. Maybe it's not bourbon. Maybe New Hampshire. But I thought Vermont was, like, also known for their maple syrup.
Yeah, I think maybe it's, like...
A rivalry?
A rivalry.
They're the two.
They're right next to each other.
Yeah.
Vermont's this one, and New Hampshire's this one.
Yeah, okay. I knew Vermont because we're going, and I've looked at a map in the last few days.
Yeah. I just know Vermont's the one that's more narrow at the bottom. I mean, it might be the other way, like this, but I just know Vermont is the one that is more narrow on the bottom, like a V.
Gotcha, yes.
That's how I remember which one of those two is which.
Yeah. I'm also really excited. This is, like, the perfect time to drive to be a leaf peeper.
Oh, we're doing, like, accidental fall activities.
Right?
I love it.
I know.
We can be so basic.
So, like, Kazid I didn't really, geography is just not good. And
American public school system letting you down once again.
No. I, like, remember having to memorize the states. No. I didn't, like, really... like, until I, like, actually mapped it out, realized that we're just driving through upstate to get to New York. I mean, through upstate New York to get to Vermont.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
But, yeah, so, like, that's, like, such a great, like, fall leaf peeping drive.
Can
that
we stop somewhere to get apple cider donuts?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's the other reason I want to leave early is because I want to stop along the way.
Yeah.
And be able to
or if there's a Target with a parking lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Just for fun.
Yeah,
be super basic. We're gonna peep some leaves, eat some apple cider donuts, and go to a Target.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited too because I've never been to Vermont.
I've never been to Vermont either.
Yeah, which apparently was the shock of the nation when I was hanging out with everybody from Connecticut. Because I was okay. I didn't grow up here.
Yeah, that's true. Growing up in California, it's you don't cross state lines very often.
Unless you're going to Vegas.
It's a plan, though. You're I'm going to another state.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
because California is the whole coast. Here, it's all of a sudden you're oh shit, I was in 3 states today.
Yeah.
Going to the grocery store. So I get how they would be about it, but cool your knickers, okay?
Yeah. Also, I'm a New Yorker, so it wasn't until recently we even had a car to go places. We kind of stay here. I would take the train to Connecticut or something, but I didn't
We always rented a car when we had to go to Connecticut.
A lot of the times we did. I used to take a train a lot in the beginning when I first moved here because I didn't have the dog. So
right.
Now with the dog, he can't ride on the train. So
dog has his own little car seat in the car.
Yes, he does.
He's riding in style.
Yeah, because I moved it to the back seat. Mm-hmm. But I figured I would let him choose where he wanted to sit when I drove to Connecticut last time. I was okay, put him in the back, but if you want to come up, I won't buckle you in yet. No, I just want to hang out in the back seat. He didn't want to sit with me.
He's you're my Uber driver, bitch.
Yeah. This is good for me.
I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. He likes that he can go between the cool of the leather and the the
squishy, warm bed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I see. So for him.
Yeah.
He's such a little bougie dog.
I know. Talk about excited for a road trip. He doesn't even know yet. He's going to be stoked.
He's going to be so excited.
He loves a car ride.
He loves a car ride.
And he loves a hotel room or an Airbnb, a new place to go sniff and a new bed to go sleep on.
I know, but he doesn't even really sniff that much. He sniffs around, he finds his spot, and he's this is where I live.
Yeah, he's this is great.
This is my bed.
Yeah.
Except that we stayed at one motel
on
the road trip. The dog did not enjoy.
Well, neither did we.
No, granted, it was not great for me either.
Yeah. It was.
It was our the first place that we had booked.
Yeah.
Oversold, so it was very last minute. It was kind of well, we're here and it's getting late. And where the hell can we stay with a dog?
Yeah.
And we found this place. At this establishment.
Well, and also it was a comedy of errors because it was
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras, and they were having. We weren't in New Orleans.
No.
We were in Lake Charles.
Yeah, but I didn't know Lake Charles is the second biggest Mardi Gras next to situation next to New Orleans. So that was,
everything was completely sold out.
Yeah.
It was crazy. So it was just a series of bad events.
Yeah.
And then we get this hotel. It ended up being cheaper, which thank God because the place
we pretty much stayed for 3 hours too.
It was it was the little things. It was weirdly sanitary and dirty.
It felt very we were in an insane asylum.
Yeah.
There was no carpet, nothing on the walls.
That was really weird.
My sheets definitely had leftover stains on them.
Yeah, your sheets were dirty.
I'm sure that they'd been laundered, they didn't, but they were stained.
They were stained. Yeah, they were stained sheets for sure. I mean, it was clean laundered sheets. It wasn't we walked into a room with dirty sheets and towels. Everything was clean, but everything was stained.
Yeah.
Everything was a little if you look too closely, there was rust in corners, but they had recently painted.
Yeah,
so it
was the landlord special.
Yeah, exactly.
Painting over a hole, hoping you don't notice.
Yeah, and it was weird and loud and echoey because there was it was
carpet.
empty. and nothing on the walls, so like nothing
to absorb the sound.
Yeah.
And it was oddly bright in the hallways.
Yes, it was really bright. The lighting in the room, they had like a weird humidifier, dehumidifier.
Oh yeah, that was weird. A dehumidifier, I'm sure, in the South.
Yeah.
But also, my favorite was that we got Mexican food. I didn't even go in to see it because I was I was staying in the room with the dog.
Yeah.
But you got the sheer pleasure of going to the gas station / casino / Mexican restaurant across the street.
That, honestly,
to get our food.
It's places like that that really make me love being on the road.
I'm kind of sad I missed it.
Yeah. Like it was like being anywhere that they have gambling. It just reeked of cigarettes.
Yeah.
There was like the lone woman chain smoking in her 90s
at a slot machine
at the end of the bar, drinking her 2-for-1 margs.
Got it. Also, those were the biggest margaritas I've ever seen.
Oh my god!
It was like a full, like that Yeti of margarita.
Yeah.
Like
it was massive.
They were like 32 ounces or something. And I was like, I want a margarita, Jen, kind of. And like, you come back and you're like, they told me it was 2 for 1. I didn't realize that it was double.
Yeah.
You walk in with these 2 giant ass margaritas. God knows we needed them though that night.
Yeah, oh my god, seriously. But yeah, because that place, the dog was like...
He would not go to sleep.
He would not go to sleep. He was like, I hate it here. He like, normally will curl up on the bed, like... He woke up at like 5 a.m. and like tried to get me up. I was like, just go back to sleep. So then he tried to get you up.
Then he jumps in my bed and is like curled up next to me, but then gets up and is like pacing. I'm like, what is going on? You took him out. He didn't have to go. He was just like, we're leaving.
This place is terrifying. We need to go.
Yeah. So we like... Yeah, we left at like 6 a.m.
Yeah, like we called because we knew where we were staying the next night. That was like one of the places we had like pre-booked. And so we called them at like 6 a.m. and we were like, can we check in like 3 hours because we're on the road already? And they were like, yeah, no problem. And I was like,
perfect.
God. So that we ended up staying in Baton Rouge after that for 2 nights.
Yeah, so that was
a little recovery
from whatever that was.
Yeah.
No, but we lucked out. He's actually quite a good little traveler.
He is a really good, like, all of his eccentricities.
He's a very eccentric little dog, for sure.
Considering all of those, like, he's, like, really, really good traveler.
Yeah, he is.
Like, he loves going in the car.
He does love going in the car.
And he does like new places. I mean, he doesn't like new people, so that's always like a little bit of a struggle.
he could do without people, but I don't really like new people either.
No, so honestly, it's kind of great because I never have to like stop and talk to people.
Dog's gonna freak out. Bye.
Bye. Thanks. Which is also why I get big dog privileges in New York. So that's
true. Great. Keep the creeps away.
Yeah. Oh, you know what we didn't talk about was Tucson.
Oh, Tucson.
Yeah, the very first city that we stopped in was Tucson.
Tucson was cool.
And we stayed there an extra day because we have a friend who lives in Tucson.
Yeah, but I guess that's the thing too, is I expected Tucson to be cool because we were going to see our friend.
Yeah, and so we knew we were going to have fun. Also, Tucson, we stayed at a really cool little, like, boutique motel.
That was, like, such a cute place.
That place was we stayed at a couple really cute places.
Yeah.
We also stayed at some, like,
trash bag
cute
motels.
Places. Yeah. Luckily, even though that, like, one...
That was the worst one.
That was the worst, and that was, like, survivable for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there was no, like, roach motels where you had, like, where you felt, like, gross and, like, super unsafe or anything.
Yeah, no,
there were a couple, like, pit stop places that smelled, like, a little too much, like, cleaner.
Yeah.
That I could have done without.
Yeah. And I think we got really lucky that somehow, which wasn't necessarily planned, that any place that was like more of a pit stop place that we got in late and left early was one of the nicer places versus like, I also feel like if we like found a hotel we liked in a city we liked, we're like, let's stay an extra day.
Yeah, we would stay an extra day.
Yeah.
But it also, like, we still made like pretty decent time. It only took 2 weeks.
Yeah. And like just under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the end we were like, NYC or bust. Yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, and I also feel like that, like, stretch across, like, kind of the Midwest, Texas specifically,
Yeah.
is such a stretch that, like, once you get past it, like, everything gets closer together, like we were talking about, and so you're just, like, you just feel like you're making more progress faster.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The road trip in my brain, even though we really only did, like, Tucson before Texas, really kind of feels like before Texas and after Texas.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it really does.
Because those are our really big driving days.
Yeah, because we just had Tucson and then El Paso and then Austin.
Mm-hmm.
I liked El Paso. Like, we didn't, like, spend a ton of time there.
No, we had a really good dinner. We made friends with the receptionist man at the La Quinta.
Yes. Yeah, that place was smelly.
It definitely was very sterilized.
Yes. It was clean.
It smelled like fabuloso.
Yes. like just 100% not diluted.
No.
Yeah.
And but yeah, he recommended like a really cute like little bistro place.
Yeah.
That we like had a great meal at.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited because this will be like a one-leg road trip, and
you won't have to drive.
I won't have to drive. Yeah, this will be fun.
You'll just be able to film. You're gonna be so happy. You're not even gonna care that you're not driving because you're gonna be filming stuff.
Yeah, it's true. I'm gonna get some leaf peeping footage.
Yeah.
She's gonna get some.
You'll be happy.
Some New York upstate B-roll, some Vermont B-roll.
Also, I'm a good driver, so you won't be annoyed by it.
No.
And if you're doing something, you won't notice that you're just sitting in the car and getting bored.
And I'm excited. My other favorite thing about road trips is the road trip snacks.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's drive-throughs or gas station chips and junk food.
Corn nuts. Oh my God. Ranch corn nuts.
Yeah.
They're calling to me already.
Isn't it funny how we have like, and I don't know if it's we or the royal we.
Yeah.
Snack food that is specific.
Road trip
to road food. Yeah. To road food? To road food.
We can call it road food.
I think that worked.
Road food.
Yeah, that was a happy accident.
Trademark.
Yep.
Jen Hanley.
Done. Yeah, corn nuts. My big thing is anytime I find a weird flavor that I've never seen, that is getting purchased.
I have tried some weird flavors with you, my friend.
Yep. Yeah. If I see, especially if it's like Cheetos in Mexican street corn flavor, which is one I have tried.
Yeah. Which was super weird.
Super weird. I kind of liked it, but it was not what I
mean, I ate it, but
yeah. But yeah, I love trying like the weird. I mean, this is off topic a little bit, but it's travel related. Give me a grocery store in a foreign country with all their like specialty flavored chips.
Oh yeah.
Never been happier. Like,
I needed a break from my family when I was staying with them in Greece, and I literally just went and found a grocery store and like spent like 20 minutes just perusing the chip aisle.
Oh yeah, like
it's fantastic.
Yeah, a European grocery store, like anywhere else in the world, a grocery store, and my favorite pastime.
You love a Buc-ee's too.
Oh my God, I love a Buc-ee's.
Speaking of stores,
yes, and I didn't discover Buc-ee's until driving, and now I am obsessed with Buc-ee's.
She's a Buc-ee's girl.
I'm excited. I'm trying to think of like a good. So I don't know if this is a Vermont thing or if this is more of a Connecticut thing, but have you heard of Stu Leonard's?
No.
So that's like another like big like grocery store chain, and they're like known for certain things. Like in the summer they have like lemon ices, I think is like their summer thing.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what their winter fall thing is, but so that could be one of our. It's a grocery store. It's like, but I think it's like a grocery store the same way that Buc-ee's is a gas station.
Right. Okay.
It's a big situation. But yeah.
Don't leave your phone in the car in case we get lost.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
So I feel like there's some good like stops along the way that we're gonna be able to hit up. And I just love like upstate New York, so that drive's gonna be fun because there's so many places upstate that I love.
I'm excited.
Me too.